got another fit ball workout today, so grab your big rubber ball and let's get going. We're going to start off with our first exercise called the Superman. This is a bit like the 4-point exercise on the floor, made more difficult with a rubber ball. You're going to roll over the top of your ball such that you have hands and feet with weight on their corners. So I'm not all over the hands so that my feet are light on the floor, and I'm not all the way back on my feet so that my hands are doing nothing. I'm somewhere in the middle with my hips up on top of the ball. I'm going to tilt the pelvis ever so slightly to brace my tummy muscles. All will become apparent in a second. This is going to help to keep my spine still as I lift one leg, my left leg, and I lift my right hand away from the floor, and I try to remain as still as possible, count to 3 in my head before slowly coming back to the floor, taking away my right leg and bracing as I lift the left arm away from the floor. Count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and change again. So you're trying to stay as still as possible, have the ball move around as little as possible underneath you, whilst you move your arms and legs away from the ground. This is harder than it looks. Have a go. I think you'll find that one quite good fun. Make sure you've got space around you for that one, because there is a possibility that you'll wobble a bit and maybe tumble once or twice while practicing it. So make sure you've got a nice fall zone to roll into. You won't go far, you're already quite close to the floor, but you might take a tumble. Let's have a go at a hip exercise. Let's do one where start from a similar position. Roll forward just a little further than before so that your feet are just starting to go light on the ground. Bring your heels together and turn your toes out so it looks a bit like you're making a fishtail kind of position, like that. Okay? So, in that position, you're going to brace your hands into the floor, keep the spine still, and squeeze your bum together to lift your heels up behind you. So again, from here, squeezing the bum to lift the heels. What you're trying not to do is arch your back so that you roll around on the ball. The ball is staying still, we're squeezing the muscles of the bum and lifting the heels up behind you. Quite a lot of the success of this is down to finding the correct position on the ball. So if you find it very difficult to lift your legs, it could be that you're too far back, and when you lift the legs you roll away. If it's incredibly difficult for you, even though you think you're in the right spot, you can always try doing them one at a time to really isolate out one glute, either left or right at a time. Make sure you're squeezing your bum and you're not arching your back. If you find that your back aches doing this one, there's a good chance that you are using your back, and switching to the one-legged version will probably help you out there. Okay, so that's that one. Next, let's do a variation of the plank. We've had a go at this plank before, but what if we switch that round so that the feet are on the ball and the hands are on the floor? I find this the easiest way to get into the position. My knees are on the floor, I've got my feet over the top of the ball, my feet are about shoulder width apart so that it's not too narrow. I'm going to push my hands into the floor, brace with my tummy muscles so that when I lift the knees, I can extend out into a plank, tuck, and come back to the floor. So I'm going to brace, push down into the ground, hold my tummy muscles tight and extend out, and back again. Again, coming up, out, and down to the floor with as much control as I can manage. The hard part of that is being in the plank position, so if you want to hold it for longer, you'll feel it's harder. If you want to do what I did, which is reach out, hold it, bring it back, reach out, hold it, bring it back, for just a second or two, then do as many repetitions as you're comfortable with, and then rest and repeat. Okay? Fourth exercise, this one's great. This is a real challenge for the hips, the trunk, everything working together. I'm going to do this one facing the camera so you can see what's going on. I'm going to move side to side on my ball. The main challenge here is not falling off the ball. So again, we want a free space around us. You won't fall far, but you may tumble to the side of your ball. You're going to walk forwards so that my head, neck and shoulders are supported by the ball. My bum is being squeezed to keep the hips nice and high. As long as I keep driving through the hips, it minimises the possibility of me falling off the ball. I'm going to reach out to the sides with my arms, so I've got a big wingspan. I'm going to try and keep my arms level. That's my spirit level. If you see me doing this, it means that I'm struggling to stabilise. I'm trying to keep my body as still as possible in a nice straight line. And the difficulty comes when I move my feet out to the side and then slide my shoulders across the ball. Now I'm only half supported by the ball. My hips have to work much harder. The back and the trunk are working to keep me from dropping off to the side like this. So I'm working to stay up here, keeping the arms level, and then I'm going to come back into the middle to rest. Before shuffling the feet out to the right, sliding the shoulders across, holding 1, 2, 3, back into the middle, and repeat right to left as many times as you're comfortable with. That's a very challenging exercise. I recommend that to begin with, you move a very small amount side to side. You will feel when you get to a point that's challenging, without any shadow of a doubt, you'll know when you're there. That's quite a tough exercise, so take it easy on that one. Lastly, we're going to do press-ups on the ball. So for this one, the ball in front of you, start from a kneeling position and have your hands nice and wide on the ball. So my fingers, you'll see, are actually pointing away from me, aren't they? I haven't got my hands up on top of the ball, my fingers pointing to the ceiling. I'm gripping the sides of the ball almost, squeezing the ball together. From here, I'm going to lean into it from my knees. You'll feel in this position your tummy muscles are braced and ready. You lean in and you push away. Lean in, get the chest toward the ball, keep the elbows pinned into your sides so that you don't end up with your elbows out to the sides like this. As you push, you want to keep the elbows tucked in like so and push away from the ball. Rolling in, elbows tucked, and push away from the ball. If you're finding that that's easy, then great. We can graduate on to having the hands on the ball and the feet on the floor. Again, I'm keeping the elbows tucked as I go. And that is considerably harder because the ball's all wobbly, which we should know by now, having done all this. Okay, have fun with that. Work through it in a circuit as many times as your fitness will allow. Bye-bye, have fun.